The MSNBC host breaks down how the court's right-wing majority is acting to protect the ex-president. In this video, I will explain everything in full. Before we proceed, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, so you are notified when we post any breaking news. Following oral arguments Thursday at the U.S. Supreme Court over Donald Trump's argument that presidents have complete immunity from prosecution, even if they murder their political opponents, MSNBC's Rachel Maddow had a bleak assessment. She said that the Supreme Court is already an excellent accomplice to Trump, scheduling hearings in this case in order to help Trump delay his criminal trial for attempting to overthrow the government in 2021. But even with that backdrop, the arguments today were legitimately, I think, stunning. What shocked Maddow was that Trump's attorneys gave confirmation that the appeals court hypothetical about Trump being able to assassinate his political enemies and never be charged for it right at the start that was not a fluke. Trump's attorney attempted to hedge his answer somehow, telling Kagan that a president attempting to do a coup certainly sounds very bad. And that's why the framers have a whole series of structural checks that have successfully, for the last 234 years, prevented that very kind of extreme hypothetical. You can see where he's going at the end of this though, right? When he calls that an extreme hypothetical. This is an important part, I believe, of how today's proceedings went. Trump's lawyer, and most of the conservative justice today carried on with these proceedings at the Supreme Court, as if it is just a wild hypothetical, just a crazy pipe dream. Like a Martian scenario that a president might try a coup, might try to use force to stay in power after he was voted out. Yeah, who could ever imagine something like that? Maddow said, adding that Trump's lawyer specifically called it quote very unlikely as a scenario. Maddow's point was of course that Donald Trump has in fact already attempted the thing his lawyer called an extreme hypothetical. Maddow then focused on how Justice Alito refused to discuss the actual reason for the hearing, Trump's immunity claim as an attempt to avoid being prosecuted for trying to overthrow the government. And then, excoriating Alito for this, she elaborated on what she worries will be the outcome of the hearing. The, not consensus but I think, widely held view of today's proceedings at the United States Supreme Court is that the conservatives on the court will likely succeed in using this case to further and fatally delay criminal court proceedings against Donald Trump before the election in November, rather than reject his claims of immunity from prosecution like all the federal judges who have considered this matter before them have done, she said. They instead will carve out some newly specified class of actions that are immune from prosecution if you're a president. And they will invent a test for deciding what counts as that kind of action by a president, and then they will send Trump's indictment, Trump's federal January 6 case back through a whole new cycle in the lower federal courts to run his attempted overthrow of the government. There's a court's newly invented legal test that they are going to make for him in this case, which yes, will take forever, because in the meantime, of course, he will get a chance to get back into the White House in order to shut the whole thing down. And in the meantime, the American people will be asked to go and vote on whether he should take that seat again in the White House, without knowing what federal prosecutors have found and believe is criminal about his conduct when he tried to overthrow the government to stay in office the last time. Thanks for watching till the end. Please subscribe, like and share, so that others could equally be informed.